I introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin, a speaker, consultant, and author's intention is teaching. Their talk is to broaden their vision, the things they weren't taught when they brought up as children. I introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin. It's Dr. Joe Griffin. I introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin, a speaker, consultant, and author's intention is teaching. Their talk is to broaden their vision, the things they weren't taught when they brought up as children. Reach for the top, regardless of situations, predicaments, or your conditions. He's making history all of the districts, increasing retention from teachers, 50 to 80% that ain't all that you hear me. He is the mentor. He paved the way with his STIP methodology, really. Dream, be persistent, face fears, seek change, go out and go get it. This what you learning with Dr. Joe Griffin.
I'll get in here.
Dr. Joe Griffin, yeah.
Like us, you all like us.
Push past the pain. If you
share us out. Let's go.
Work your perspective and look at it change. Find a goal, set it in critical thing. Manage time, self-awareness.
Got a good one for you.
These are the few of the things he's trying to get you to do every day. Do every day. Led 5 schools to increase test scores with his teacher principal collaboration. Things he give to you will have you take you drive to the next level. But first, you need to get some fuel at gas station. Supporting education leaders, creating a culture for kids that'll last for ages. Lack of access to quality professional development, that's outrageous. Got his doctorate in education, leadership, research, make changes. Need to put the kids first and raise them. Need to teach them they worth, stop playing. Later on, they gon' run this nation. Dr. Joe with his dissertation taught to those who would fix, make change.
Great day, leaders. Welcome to the Empowerment Zone. PD Cast, you all. Week 74, volume 2, number 32. Let's go. Definitely excited. It's a great day, you all. Thankful as always just to be here with you, to be in your presence. Welcome to the Empowerment Zone. Welcome. Definitely let us know where you're streaming in from. Like us, share us out, all of that. I see we got Coach in the building. Coach Dot Makita G. Definitely appreciate you today. Definitely appreciate you getting us off to a great start. As always, thank you so much, you all. We got a lot to unpack today, you all. We got quite a bit to unpack, and we're talking communication principles. We're talking communication principles that shape legacy and outcomes. But before we get to that, we definitely want to do some house cleaning. Definitely. How you feeling? It's that time of the season where you want to definitely see how are you feeling. You got to do those checks at all times, because sometimes we get to ripping and running, working, doing all of the necessary things, and we forget to do that internal check. So just do that quick check. How you feeling? Take time to sit down. Wow, I feel okay. I feel revived, feel rejuvenated. However you feel, you want to definitely keep that in mind. And another thing I want you to do, give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand, okay? Give yourself a hand, you all. You deserve it. It's not easy, right? It's easy to quit, but we are still fighting. You're still here every single day. You're going harder and harder, and you got grace on your side. So give yourself a hand, because you know what you're doing, and you also know what you're not doing, right? Let us know where you're streaming in from. I want to encourage you so much today, you all. And in that encouragement, I definitely want to just do a quick moment of silence, as always, for our country. As you know, we got some attacks going on, and I have a personal friend who texted me today and said that their brother is over there where those shots are being fired. So let's definitely give a moment of silence. Yeah. All right, you all. Definitely make this adjustment real quick. All right. So how you feeling? Encourage you. And before we get started, definitely want to go in with the prelude. Let's see what else we got in here, you all. Okay. Before we get started, you all, let's go in with our prelude. As always, legacy is built in the everyday. Legacy is built in the everyday, you all. A lot of times we see the end results, We see the awards, you see the test score increases, you see all the things in the end. But legacy is built in the everyday. It's in what we're doing every single day. It's shaped by our patterns, our behavior, our work ethic, those things that we're putting into what we hope will come back out. People rather remember those rare instances. What they remember is how they felt about the situation, how it inspired them or how it depleted them of confidence or how it uplifted them into the next arena where they were trying to go. So same thing with your families, your organizations, all of that matters. We want to speak through a lens of empowerment, through a lens of uplifting, through a lens of clarity, through a lens that we're building every single day toward the outcome. See, you got to work relentlessly for an outcome that you don't know is going to happen or not. But that's the power in what we do as educators. That's the power in what we do in our everyday fields, because you're putting it in every single day. So the legacy is the outcome. That's the impact. That's what's driving the vehicle towards creating those memorable legacies that you're working toward every single day, because it's built in the everyday. And as you move down this stretch, you got a stretch run coming up with testing. We got a stretch run with all of the things as far as school year coming down to a close. But the culmination, of course, is assessment season. As educators, as leaders, as teachers, assessment season is here, and there's nothing we can do about it but make sure we prepared, make sure we are not only teaching, but we communicating. That we communicate. And when you're teaching, what are you communicating? I get a chance to go in a lot of different schools, so I have a few viewpoints on the communicatory process when you're talking about within your schools, within your organization, and how that's supposed to look in order to drive the best results, in order to help shape the culture. Communication is one of those things that's ongoing, right? You could have built up a beautiful relationship, and that one instance of miscommunication can make it go down the drain. Same thing with your principals, your teachers, your superintendents, to the leaders. All of this is something that we got to constantly be aware of. So as we move down this stretch, we know that if culture is shaped by communication, then your legacy is going to be shaped by what you continually put into that. So what you say, what you show, how you perform, all of that is matter. And here's the thing, what you reinforce. Because nothing gets done, nothing gets completed without that constant reinforcement. And we're going to go through a quick framework. I got 5 points for you today. I see you. Framework for communication. I see you very deep. I see you very deep. I see you intentional, right? I see consistent. You unified. I see that you're so I'm a value. It's going to be value driven, and it's deep. So it's developmental. I see you very deep. I see you VD, intentional, right? Consistent, unified, value driven, and developmental. Ooh, we gonna cook today, y'all. I hope y'all ready. I hope you're ready. That's right. So let me see what we got in here, you all, in the chat box. Definitely appreciate you, Coach. Appreciate the love. Great afternoon, Calumet City, Illinois. I'll be out there in Chicago area on the 17th, Coach. So hopefully we get a chance to. I may even get a chance to invite you to the event or whatever. I definitely hope to see you if that's your area, if Calumet City is near that area. So when we're talking about these communication principles, when we're talking about how we want to communicate, not only down the stretch, but beyond as well. Your first one, communication of presence. What we communicate before we ever speak in our offices, in our classrooms, in our hallways, how we show up. our communication of presence. This is the first principle, right? How we look, even how we dress. If I'm a teacher and I want the students to see me different, but I dress like them every single day, even as the leader, there's got to be that differentiation. And not only in your dress, but in your demeanor, how you communicate, that emotional stability, being able to be calm when situations arise, because they're going to come about in education. You're going to have situations where, wow, someone has to be the calm person in the room. We can't panic. We got to be able to communicate, and that is communicated through your presence. How you act, your consistent presence, it communicates your reliability and ultimately your leadership strength. So we got to understand that communication of presence, that's crucial if we're going to be in a situation where we're driving up our test scores through the end of the year, if we'll continue to build relationships that are going to last throughout the end of the year and beyond. Because development, it can't stop. Yeah, we at the end of the year, it's March. It's about to be March now. It's about to be April now. No, you got to continue to be consistent. Continue to be consistent, because students are going to understand if you're taking your feet off the gas. And we don't want to portray that through our communication, through our presence of not continue to push at all levels. We have to be thinking about those things, right? Because the staff, they're going to interpret your leadership tone well before they think about what you told them to do. The tone is going to coerce that. It's going to influence how much you're able to get out of them, what type of momentum you're pushing them toward, and how you're showing up, but also requiring everyone else to show up. Ooh, you are communication of presence, right? Communication of presence. So we got to make sure we definitely keep that as our number one principle. And what is your presence communicating every day? Ask yourself that. When you show up, what is your presence communicating? As the leader, as the teacher, as the educator, what's your presence communicating? Crucial question, you all. Second principle, communication of value. You say, what are you talking about? Your tone, your conversation, your expectations, all of that is how much you value. See, the connection, it's got to come first. The connection leads to the empowerment, and the empowerment leads to the collaboration, right? So we got to make sure that we're constantly communication our value, the value that is bringing to our people throughout the way we talk to them. It's got to be specific encouragement, not just general. Be able to tell them what you did well in your evaluation, what I liked about what was going on in the classroom. I like the fact that you got 3 different students that you walked around during the work period and you facilitated a conversation to be able to push them to the next level. That's a specific intervention that you did, right? Not just you just walked around the room. What did you do while you were walking around? See, now you're giving specific feedback, and that's a way of communicating your value. This is what your teammates bring to the table. You want them to lay into their strengths. If you see that, wow, you're really making a difference with those one-on-one interactions. Don't you want to be able to increase that? Don't you want to be able to see that momentum rise? Because when you're building up the confidence in those that you're serving, they're going to build up the confidence in those that they're serving. Ooh, wait. Talk to them. Because we got to understand we're in a position of empowerment at all time, you all. At all time, you all. So those clear expectations, that's going to reduce a lot of frustration, because confusion, that's what confusion creates, is frustration. And you don't want your people frustrated. You want to be clear. You want them confident. You want to have clear language, clear expectations. And the question for this piece is, does my communication build confidence or compliance? Think about it. Are you building up risk-taking educators who are going to go and find the highest yielding strategies and be able to implement them in the classroom, or are you making a space where if you mess up, you're going to get in trouble? These are some things you have to think about. Does your communication build confidence or does it build compliance? We don't want to build compliance. Of course, everyone has to comply, but we don't want that to be the motivating factor for you professionally developing to the point where you improve your skills. We got to think about that, you all. Third thing, you all, because we're going quick today. Today, I had a short one lined up. We've been going real hard these last few weeks with those 20 ways to support, attract, and retain impactful educators. That was a 3-part series, so appreciate everyone that came in for those sessions as well. But third communicatory principle, or principle of communication. Communication through feedback cycles. All the communication has to be growth oriented. It's got to be where we'll continue to build off of those strengths. It must be frequent, and you got to make sure it's the normal thing that we do. This is how we live. This is how a part of our culture. We are constantly giving feedback. We want a building where it does not matter who comes into the classroom, that the teachers are serving and empowering students to the highest capacity that they have every single day, from the time that they have class to the very, very end. That's what you want to be able to communicate through those feedback cycles, and you continue to add and give support so that they can meet those growth standards, right? Feedback got to guide that improvement, not document their failure. It's not to document what you're not doing. It's, in other words, it's to help you move forward in what we need you to do better. So you got to ensure, that's powerful information, y'all. You got to ensure that the feedback guides the improvement. Doesn't document the failure. Of course, it's rare instances that will be the model, but as a rule, as a general communication principle, your feedback cycles have to support the growth of those that you're intending to see do better. Let's go, you all. Loving what we do. And the thing about it, when the feedback is intentional, it's supportive, now those educators are willing to take those educational risks that they normally might not take. So that's powerful in itself as well. And when it's fear-based, we talked about those 3 types of motivation, and fear-based being one of them that does not work. We don't want to use that as the goal. That's not the goal. We want to continue to motivate, uplift, have you in a space where you're not afraid to take those risks. So in questioning yourself, are we using communication to develop people or to document them? Is your communication to develop people or to document them out the building, so to speak? Right? You heard those terms. I'm going to document them out the building. No, but your documentation should be to help develop your people. Your team members need that support. You want to be able to put them in a situation where they can be successful. 4th communication principle. And this is extremely crucial coming down the stretch. We got people getting ready for state tests. You're getting ready for the summer. You're supporting, attracting, and retaining educators. Communication of unity. Yeah, this is huge, because I think we leave this out of the picture too much in the field. We've got to ensure that if we're going to have these high impact schools, if we're going to have these high pressure testing seasons and things of that nature, we've got to communicate unity and show it in how we deal with team members on a regular, right? It doesn't have to be limited to because we're doing this. It has to be something that we're continuing to do, that we do over and over again. We communicate the fact that we are a team. It's got to be consistent in your classrooms, consistent at the leadership levels. All of this is important, you all. All of this is important when you're talking about the communication of unity. See, those mixed messages they're going to weaken what you're trying to do. They're going to weaken the ability to reach goals at higher levels. You still might reach some, but that's not how you want to reach it. You want to reach it by fixing those parts of your program so that everything can be working toward the upward good of it all. See, a unified team, you can create the discipline culture that you need to have the instructional practices that boost your performance. See, that is the DIP approach. Now we're talking communication of unity, y'all. Are we speaking with one voice down the stretch? Are you speaking with one voice down the stretch, or you got various people chipping away at the team aspect, the team concept? How are you going to get those desired results? That's part of the legacy piece, right? Communication principles that shape legacy and outcomes. So constantly think about that as well. The communication of unity. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And when you realize that that's off, you got to reset, because we can't do it alone. We can't do it in an environment that we're not collaborating, that we're not working together. Fifth communication principle for today, you all. Communication of expectation. Communication of expectation sounds simple. Sounds like something that we should normally do, that should be part of the daily routine and how we operate, our culture, or how we live in our school. But here's the truth. It's not always communicated. And there are situations in which we can do a better job of communicating the expectation. If you communicated the expectation in August, nothing wrong with waiting to March, but someone may not remember the expectation, or they may have gotten laxed in meeting the expectation. But those constant reminders, those constant communications about the expectation and supporting them in meeting the expectation, now you're clicking over to another level of leadership, another way of smooth running your machine, right? Because you got to have your school in a situation pushing ahead where we're moving flawlessly ahead. So communication of expectations. And you're talking about both your academic as well as your cultural standards. All of that matters, right? So talking about those expectations and reiterating those expectations must occur. And your belief in your people, it's got to be voiced. You got to let your students, your staff, your leadership team that know that you believe in them. And if you're not believing them, you need to put them in a situation where you giving them the training, the growth and support where you can start to believe in them. Because it doesn't happen without those missing pieces. See, leadership is complex. Being able to move a school, to move an organization, it takes intentional, ICUVD, intentional, right? Consistent, unified, value-driven, developed, ICU very deep. That was the acronym that we began with, right? Yeah. We always tie our stuff together because these are frameworks that are going to live forever. I want to make sure that teachers, principals, are supported. That's our purpose, you all. Be able to support them, be able to give them those extra things that they need, and continue to grow and learn ourselves as well. So being able to communicate those 5 principles, you all. That's powerful, powerful stuff. Definitely let us know you like it. Comment, subscribe, share us out. Get in the chat, whatever you got to do. We definitely appreciate all of you being here today. And when we think about, as we prepare to come to a close, this communication of high expectations, it drives people to next levels. It drives your performance to next levels. These are intentional inputs. I see you very deep. I see you very deep, right? I see you VD. Remember those 5 principles for communication, because we got to understand that we don't build our legacy just when the results come. The legacy is built through the work ethic, through the daily reminders. So, question you might want to ask yourself, are we communicating excellence? Or are we selling just for completion? We're just going to get through the year. We're just going to finish the job. No, think about it. We're communicating excellence. We want to be great at it. We want to leave our mark as the educator. When you go in and you're at your school, whether you're a principal, teacher, whatever your role, every single day, that's your legacy. Not only that, here's a deeper one for you. If you're having motivational problems when you go to your educational space, it's the legacy of the ancestors that came before you, that put you in a situation where we could do what we do as educators, right? Not just during Black History Month, but throughout the course of the year. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Get those weekly clarity statements together. Do your weekly clarity statement where at the beginning of the week, you get clear on your focus, you get clear on your expectations for what you need to accomplish during that week. Weekly clarity statement, just that quick input. One thing that you can do. What's something else that you could do, you all, to make sure that you have that academic, that cultural focus shared with the staff each week? Put it in the chat, share us out, because we got to start normalizing growth conversations. We don't want to talk about growth. We don't want to talk about what we can get better. We think that sometimes it's all about what we're doing well. And I'm strength-based. I love that. But also, how can we push ourselves to those next greater, higher, and more impactful levels? Let's go! What a day, what a day. Thankful as always, you all. We got a comment in here. What we got? All righty. Yes, indeed. Sounds good. Definitely appreciate you, Coach. Definitely appreciate you so much. Otherwise, you all, as you continue to learn, love, lead with your heart, continue to search for wisdom so that you can find and work in your true purpose, and continue to be courageous so that we can drown out all fear and be who we need to be in our educational spaces, communities, and all the places we live. Have the best day.